Hey, what's going on? Thought I'd shoot a quick video while I'm watching Into the Badlands here, Season 2, Episode 8. Uh, this is related to a blog post I just wrote last night on my website, benbermedia.com/pitchnothing. And it's lessons from the world's most feared negotiator, Jim Camp, who he passed away a few years ago, but I have his book right here, Start With No. And man, I gotta tell you, this is one of those books that I wish I found when I was, just starting out in sales, or actually way before that, because Jim will tell you negotiating is a part of life. It's not as big here in the Western Hemisphere, in the Western culture, but go anywhere else in the world and you gotta negotiate for everything, right? And every sale is a negotiation on some level. This helps with copywriting too. So I'm going to give you a few lessons that I learned from this book, and a few game changers, really. I was just reading this, I was just taking notes like crazy. It was like aha after aha moment. So the first one is the foundational principle of the Jim Camp system is non-neediness. And he'll tell you how basically neediness just shines through most people, and a tough negotiator, like any predator, will see that, sense it, and just attack. And just to give you an example of neediness, okay, let's say you're a freelance copywriter and you go to a big client and they say, listen, I want you, I only want to pay you half of your rate right now, but I'm promising you in the future there'll be a lot more jobs for you, and there'll be a lot more where this came from. I'll give you referrals, all that. So because if you're needy, you'll be like, oh, okay, like he'll create a vision in your head of this awesome future if you just compromise now. And Jim says, like, that's a tough negotiator preying upon neediness. A smart person would be like, hey, listen, feel free to tell me no, but I set my rates at the level they're at for a reason. Like, I know how much value I bring, and if you don't want to pay that, that's fine. I can recommend to you a bunch of other people who could do the job just as well as I can, if not better. And then just leave it at that. You have to be willing to say no. You have to be willing to walk away, because the minute you need a deal to happen or a sale to happen is the minute that you lost. Because another Jim Camp principle is you should only focus on what you can control, and that comes down to your behavior and your activities. So you can work on making yourself the best, the most persuasive arguments. You can work on controlling your emotions, making the right decisions, and so on and so forth. Another Jim Camp principle is vision drives decision. Not before your benefits and your features and benefits can affect someone, they have to have a vision of a problem that your product could solve, for example. It's kind of hard to explain, and I went into it a lot more in detail in my blog. So again, it's benbermedia.com/pitch-nothing. And I'll just leave you with one more quick tip from the Jim Camp system, which I felt was like just a huge epiphany for me. And it's how you ask questions. So there's two ways to ask questions that most people are trained. So the first way is like an open question versus a closed question. So a closed question is the answer can only be yes, no, or maybe. An open question is with like, hey, what did you do last night? So there's two types of open questions though. So the first one is leading with an interrogative, which opens the conversation up and it doesn't leave someone defensive. So an interrogative is a who, what, where, when, why, how question. So when was the last time you when was the last time you examined the way you ask questions? And then yada, yada, yada. The other way that most people and most sales letters start is, do you suffer from these problems? Can you go ahead and buy this now? They start with verbs. So do you do this? Can you do this? And Jim says those put people on the the defensive. And if you want to make more sales and have a better life and get better at negotiating, switch that away and start focusing on the interrogative questions. So who, what, where, when, why, how. Okay, so that's all I'm going to give you for now. For more, just go to the blog. I wrote a lot of it actually last night, and I hope you enjoyed. Talk to you soon, all right? Peace.